expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about 5 awesome websites that allow you to find out if your information has been leaked out on the dark web. The challenge that we have to deal with in today's digital world is that there are a ton of data breaches out there, and it's hard to keep track of all the different data breaches that are occurring in our day-to-day world. There are sites that you can go to check out data breaches, which I will talk about, but it's a lot easier nowadays to quickly type in your information and find out if it's on the dark web. Now, I'll always say this, and it remains to be true, that 99% of data breaches require user interaction. So many of you have accidentally given out your information to criminals, whether you fell for a phishing scheme or if you fell for a phone scheme. But sometimes the bad guys are smart enough to get in to large scale company computers and get access to your data. Sometimes that information is leaked if you have acknowledged the fact that you have given your data to a large company, but they have been negligent in their duties and they allow that information to be breached by themselves or another third party. So you really have to make sure that you are doing your due diligence to find out who has got your information. Now the challenge is that you've got hackers out there that are constantly looking at the information that's been leaked on the dark web. So it's a challenge to avoid those hackers, to make sure that you stay ahead of them, to make sure that they're not hacking away at your personal information, and that you can make sure that you keep your information safe and your family information safe from all of the cyber criminal activity out there. What can you do? Well, let's take a look at some websites that will help you do a quick search of the information that is of yours on the dark web and what you can do to further protect yourself. Now, the first site we're going to go to is NordPass, which is created by NordVPN. NordVPN is an excellent product that allows you to surf securely when you're connected to those public Wi-Fi hotspots, like at your favorite coffee shop or at the airport. VPN creates a little tunnel, so that way your information stays safe and secure while you're using the hotspot, so hackers can't see what's going on. Now, NordPass at nordpass.com is a product that allows you to save your passwords, but this free utility on their website allows you to find out how secure your password is. That means if you have a password that you are using, you can find out if it's on the dark web. Now, one of the passwords that I normally recommend is one called Stinky Chicken. Now, I have to explain why I use that password. That password, when I lecture, sometimes comes when I am given an example of what's called a passphrase. A passphrase is two words that are put together that form a secure password. The challenge of creating passwords is that we fall into our old habits of utilizing the same numbers and characters that we can easily remember. If you use a passphrase, that phrase can be easily remembered, but at the same time too, it's usually a phrase that's going to be 2 words that have nothing to do with your personal life. One of the mistakes that we make is a lot of our password information we're sharing on social media already. So if we're using passwords of kids' names, spouses' birthdays, spouses' maiden names, that information can be utilized as a password, and cyber criminals, if they take a look at your social media, they can easily figure out what some of either your security questions are or your passwords. So always use passphrase. And before you use a passphrase, make sure you check it out at this site. So let's go with our Stinky Chicken password. So let me go in and expose it so that you can see me type it in. We'll type in Stinky Chicken. And I'm like, man, I found a good password that I'm going to use that everyone no one's using, what I hope. So as you can see, there have been no leaks found with Stinky Chicken. There was earlier, but I think I spelled it wrong. But the other thing this NordPass allows you to do too is to make sure that your password has all of the check marks that it's going to make your password strong enough and long enough to keep cyber criminals out of your information. And as you can see, this password is weak, even though it's a passphrase. So let's capitalize the S, and let's maybe add some special characters, like maybe a 481, and then add a special character like the @ sign, and maybe an exclamation point. And as you can see, we went from a weak password to a strong password. So NordPass is a great site that you can go to find out if the passwords that you are currently using have been breached on the web already, or you can find out if you're thinking about a new password, if it's going to be safe and secure, and that will meet all the standard passwords. Our next site is one of my favorites, which is Have I Been Pwned? And I love the fact that the dictation or the closed captioning spelled pwned right. So it must be in Webster's dictionary. So anyway, Have I Been Pwned is a site that allows you to find out if you have been pwned. Now, pwnage or pwning is a hacker term, or a gaming term, I shouldn't say hacker, gamer term, used to say that you've owned somebody. The phrase came about during a couple of online games. Someone had their headset on, they were playing a game, they were trying to type, and they owned somebody, and they were trying to type, you have been owned. They actually got the O and the P mixed up, and so the word pwned or pwnaged or pwned has really caught on in the gamer industry. So, to find out if you've been pwned by a hacker, you can go to haveibeenpwned.com. Type in an email address that you are currently using. This one is currently no longer being used, so I can type it in. But you can already see the results down there because I didn't clear it out. But, oh no, I have been pwned. And it starts letting you know which breach you've been pwned on. I've seen people been breached with an email address as many as 20 or so websites. So it's very important that you make sure that when you go to Have I Been Pwned, that you type in your current email address. And if you find out you've been pwned like I have, you want to go through and take steps to make sure that you change any password that you utilize for that email address, because if you don't, you could become a victim of what's called credential stuffing. Now, credential stuffing is when cyber criminals get your information off of the dark web and utilize it to log into your online accounts. This has happened in the past with Ring, with Amazon, with Dunkin' Donuts, but you want to make sure that if your information has been breached, that you immediately change any usernames and passwords for your online accounts, because once that information is breached, it's like that old saying that if it's on the internet, it's kind of on there forever. So you want to make sure that you're taking steps to protect yourself. Our next website is Dehashed. Now, there's no gamer term for this, but Dehashed is a great website found at dehashed.com that allows you to search any combination of anything to find out if it's wound up on the dark web. So we'll once again just do email, and we'll type in this integralcc@yahoo.com email address and do a search and find out what Dehashed finds out for us. Now, under normal circumstances, if it doesn't come up to this goofy website, it should find out exactly what happened during the breach and what information has been breached. But if you go back to Dehashed, and I closed it down because it goofed, it'll definitely let you know which sites your information has been breached on, and it'll you can take steps to make sure that your information is safe and secure. Now, we jumped ahead, but we can go ahead and go to our next website, which is Firefox Monitor. Now, Firefox Monitor works like Have I Been Pwned, as in you can type in your email address and password, or not password, but your email address, and find out if your email address has been hacked. And as you can see, I think we typed in this integralcc@yahoo.com email address. And let me switch screens here so that you can see what I'm doing. And let's go back. There, let's check all breaches, and I think one popped up before. And as you can see, that's the one breach that it popped it up in, which was on Have I Been Pwned. So let's go back, and as you can see, it was the Retina X. Firefox Monitor showed the same breach, and when it occurred, and it showed the information, what was breached, more so than the Have I Been Pwned, which just shows, oh no, your information. Oh, it shows email addresses and passwords. Same thing with that. So two tools that you can use that are similar to find out if your information has been breached on the web. Now the next website is one of my other favorites, which is fightingidentitycrimes.com. Looking at fighting identity crimes, it offers a section called breaches and scams. Now, quick, not lesson, but a quick thing about fighting identity crimes. It's put together by Easy Shield Antivirus, which you don't necessarily have to use in order to access the website, but this is an example of the internet community coming together to help make sure that people aren't being scammed by hackers. So if you go to Fighting Identity Crimes and go to their breaches and scams section, you can click on breaches we're tracking, and it will show you data breaches dating back to 2012. Now for the month of March, as you can see, J.Crew had information exposed, but as you can see, there's that term that we were talking about before, and you'll see it. Credential stuffing, which basically means that people were logging into the J.Crew site using old information, and they had their information compromised at J.Crew. So again, if your username or password is found in the data breach, you definitely want to make sure that you change that once you find out that the information's been leaked. One that was kind of concerning is T-Mobile. Not sure when they were breached, but as you can see, here is the information that was leaked. That's a pretty big deal. And the cause was what happens with a lot of these companies. It was a third-party vendor. Large corporations trust their third-party vendors in order to do data exchanges. But the challenge is that it doesn't matter if the third-party vendor was hacked. It's always the main company's fault when that information is leaked. Now, what's more alarming about this T-Mobile leak is that as far as protective services, they recommend that you do free credit monitoring and identity theft. Another one that was pretty major, which is to be determined, was Carnival Cruise Lines. Can you see that? Not sure when they were leaked, but look at the information that was leaked in there. Now, Carnival was actually hacked, which means that someone broke into Carnival's systems and got a hold of a lot of information. So if you've recently been on Carnival, now might be the time to sign up for credit monitoring service. And as you can see, the breach tables on Fighting Identity Crimes definitely recommends that you sign up for credit monitoring service because important information was leaked. Now, if we go back to February, you can see some other sites were leaked, but as you can see, some of it was just name, address, user photos, and order receipts and labels. Nothing that's really going to compromise your information. But there's another one from Fifth Third Bank where Social Security information was leaked, and they are recommending identity service. So this is a good resource for you to go through, find out which companies are leaking your data. That way you can kind of take steps to make sure that your information is safe and secure. Now, a bonus tip that I'm going to share, or actually a utility that you can install for you Google Chrome users, and it is the Google Password Checkup extension, which allows you to find out which one of your accounts it needs to have a little bit more protection. As you can see, you can quickly install the extension. Right here it says remove because it's already installed up here, but you can basically will keep track of any password that you've entered into your computer. It will let you know if that password was part of a large-scale data breach. And so the importance of this is that if you're using common passwords, that helps cyber criminals get maybe your email address and utilize some of the more well-known passwords in order to access your stuff. So it's a good idea to have something that's proactive, like the password checkup extension, installed in Chrome, your browser, on your computer to make sure that you are not using passwords that are floating out in the wild that can potentially compromise your personal or even your business data with all of the data breaches out there. Now, that was a mouthful. And obviously, you can rewind the video if you want to look at those websites again to find out which ones that you can use in order to protect yourself. So, if you have comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section below to make sure that you get those questions answered so I can help protect you from all the data breaches out there. If you want other tech tips, feel free to leave questions, or you can visit us, meaning myself and my company Integral, on social media or on YouTube. You be sure to subscribe to those videos to make sure that you're getting the latest tech information that's going to help you get the most from the technology that you use at home and at work. So with that said, take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And some of that is protecting your personal information, because if you've got peace of mind, you're definitely going to smile a lot more than rather you worrying about who is out there trying to hack into your personal information, because there's nothing wrong with, well, there's something wrong with hackers, but the challenge is that you want to be able to use a good hack to hack out the negativity and negative things in your life. You don't want criminals hacking into your personal information, making you stressed. So you're like, So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.